So, Kite, please break out the prediction log.
Oh.
I am ready to set in stone
Mm-hmm.
my Hero of Ages prediction, and I will explain why.
Okay.
Now, to date, I've made quite a few predictions, some mostly as a joke, and some less so as a joke. There were joke contenders and serious contenders.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I added the last handful of epigraphs to my epigraph document
Mm-hmm.
that I keep for when we do finish the book and we do our epigraph stream. And I noticed something this time around, particularly with some added knowledge from the last couple of chapters. So I'm so excited to share all of this. But before I do, Kite, do you have any prediction or thought on who the Hero of Ages is before I influence you with my concrete prediction?
I have no confident suggestions. The only thing I'm really aware of is that I don't think it's Vin. That's it.
Okay. I do not
Mm-hmm.
think it is Vin either. In the past, I have supposed way, way, way back that Kelsier might be, and we were sort of bouncing between is it Kelsier or is it Vin? And then
Mm-hmm.
Kelsier died. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so he's out of the running.
Mm-hmm.
I tested the waters with Zane because I earnestly thought that he would have a redemption arc.
Oopsie. Yeah.
That's not gonna be happening anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of joked that Breeze might be the Hero of Ages, but I don't think I ever really meant him as a serious contender.
Yeah.
I did consider Friendship as the Hero of Ages,
Yeah.
and I think there was or is a small possibility of that being the case, but I'm ready to put that entirely aside now. I don't think that is the case.
Okay.
And then I've considered Elend. He was a very serious contender, particularly throughout this book, as we have been making many comparisons between Elend and Alendi.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one person whom I continued to come back to time and time again with 100% seriousness. But I don't think I
Closet.
exactly Sazed.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it that
Yeah.
I noticed in the epigraphs when I went to add the last few into my document? What I noticed was between 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, that set of chapters, they all start with the word he, and,
Uh-huh.
or most of them do, at least, and they are all in describing Alendi, and they are all ostensibly describing the qualities of Alendi that made Quan think he was the Hero of Ages. So I'm going to run through them with you right now. He was born of a humble family, yet married the daughter of a king. To our knowledge, no, we don't know about his family, other than there were the breeding programs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet married the daughter of a king. Now, married the daughter of a king does not mean he himself was the groom. It could mean he was the officiator, or the officiant, the priest.
Okay.
We
Okay. Yeah.
we know that Breeze and Alrion's the daughter of a king, so add this to the prediction log.
Mm-hmm.
Breeze and Alrion will get married, and Sazed will officiate.
Okay. Added.
So we do not need to think that he has to be the groom here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He could trade words with the finest of philosophers and had an impressive memory, nearly as good as my own, yet he was not argumentative. How many times have we heard Sazed say, I do not wish to argue with you, Tindville?
Mm-hmm.
Or something to that effect. And yet he constantly sticks up for himself, and he is that font of wisdom for all of the
Mhm.
characters around. That sort of lives in the philosopher realm, I think, to a little
Mhm.
bit, to a small degree.
Yeah. He's a scholar.
Exactly. He is a scholar. The terrorists rejected him, but he came to lead them. Well, we're halfway there already.
Mhm.
He commanded kings, and though he sought no empire, he became greater than all who had come before. Again, with the married the daughter of a king thing,
Mhm.
he is an advisor to kings. That could be an equivalent, a slight realignment of view. He has
Uh,
advised Elend, and
just
he
hold on. The marrying of a king, a
mhm.
daughter of a king. If we consider Calcier a king, he Sazed married the daughter of a king with Elend.
What
Because if
is
we take Vin as his daughter,
yeah. Yeah, that works for
she's
me.
Lady Heir. She's Lady Heir. We don't need Breeze and Alrion to get married. She's Lady Heir. She's the basically the daughter of the King Kelsier, I suppose. I guess you would probably say daughter of a god then, but anyway, it fits if we're gonna play with prophecy.
Yeah,
It already has happened.
it very much works with me, especially
Mhm,
because of that note Kelsier gave to Vin. You'd have liked Mare. She always wanted a daughter. They filled that
mhm,
role for each other, and that is enough for it to
mhm,
count for me. Excellent
mhm,
catch.
mhm,
But yeah, he commanded kings, and in the last chapter, he was pretty much yelling at Penrod, "Let us in."
mhm. Yeah.
But point being, commanded can also equivocate. Is that the right word? To
Mhm.
advised. He advised kings.
Equate to advise, yeah.
He fathered no children, yet all of the land became his progeny. Well, we know, again, we're halfway there.
Mhm.
He was forced into war by a misunderstanding and always claimed he was no warrior, yet he came to fight as well as any man. How many times through the last handful of chapters have we heard him think to himself, I am no warrior?
Yeah, exactly.
He was
Yeah, it's fitting.
He was no simple soldier, he was a force of leadership, a man that fate itself seemed to support. What is that if not him being the only one to hold the gate, who
Mhm,
somehow uh, everyone is looking to right now as a source of leadership, and who was rescued via Deus Ex Vin?
mhm,
That he left ruin in his wake, but it was forgotten. He created kingdoms and then destroyed them as he made the world anew. He's the one that gave Vin the spear. In no small way could he be
mhm,
credited with being the one that created the kingdoms and left the ruin of the subsequent events after the death of the Lord Ruler.
mhm.
I feel like there was more, but just that's pretty much all Sazed right there, I think.
Yeah, it fits Sazed better than all others.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's concrete, it's in the prediction log now?
Sazed is hero of ages. Okay, done. No
Excellent.
spoilers in the comments, okay? Leave it.
Yes.
Leave it alone. Just scratch yourself, scratch your ear, scratch your chin. You're done. Consider the discussion finished.
And as always, thank you for honoring that. I know how tremendously difficult it must be. Oh, we're in the end game now and it's getting so exciting. Just experiencing it in this way. So
Mhm.
thank you all for honoring those rules.
Thank
With that said, I mourned Tyndwell quite a lot this week.
I must say I was in kind of like denial. I was just like, I think it's because we didn't read this week, so I was like, I didn't return to the world. I left it.
I agree.
I think you spent more time because you were doing the epigraphs and things like that. I stayed away from it.
Yeah. was weird
Mm.
not reading this week, right?
Yeah.
It's like I kept thinking, I have something that I should do, and I don't feel like
No.
I've forgotten it because I know what it is that I would otherwise be doing. Oh, man.
Remember not to do the things. Yeah.
Yeah. But with all of
So
that,
are you're not over yeah, you're not over Tindwell, hmm?
I'm not. I'm so bummed. I thought she'd be around for a while. I'm annoyed. I
We
liked her
really did.
character. Yeah.
We didn't even talk about like, "Oh, no, she's gonna die." We were talking about Breeze dying and, like, Clubs dying, whatever, but
I feel like
yeah.
we expected Clubs to die. So his death,
Mhm.
we had sort of pre-prepared for it.
It was still horrible.
Yeah. He had a good run. Tindwell just took me completely by surprise.
Mhm. And it was off screen, love. It
Yeah.
was off screen. RIP.
Yeah. Shall we get into it?
Yep.
Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. For this particular series, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, That Darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are both going into the story completely new with almost no knowledge of the story or world.
Each segment, we intend to cover what happens in each new chapter and discuss our experience along the way.
Hold on to your butts, because this is Ascension Unleashed, a blind read through, and today we will be covering Chapter 55.
Chapter 55! Opening the book. Rashek is to try to lead Alendi in the wrong direction, to dissuade him, discourage him, or otherwise foil his quest. Alendi doesn't know that he has been deceived, that we've all been deceived, and he will not listen to me now.
Mhm.
So, the second thing that jumps into my mind, the first being, I think we got the bulk of that passage in an earlier passage in the not epigraphs. The second thing that comes to mind is the that we've all been deceived
Yep.
line. Yeah, that seems big. Like,
Who deceived Rashek? I mean, not who Rashek, who deceived Quan? Because that includes Quan. We've all been deceived. By who? Because we know that you were lying. We
mhm.
we were we decided, and you now we've all been deceived. What?
Are the
That's
prophecies
an extra layer.
fake?
Yeah. Are they all like the prophecies themselves are fake? Okay.
I mean, we don't know if the prophecies say anything specific about the deepness.
Hmm.
We know that, do we really know that much about what the anticipation is and how it relates to the deepness?
Nope.
Because,
Yeah,
si-
but I would think that the most the one that I would expect that deception would be in the prophecies themselves.
yeah. I mean, I put my prediction in the log, but maybe there's no hero of ages. But no, I still think it's Sazed.
Hmm. Why
Me-
would there be no hero of ages yet there is a well of ascension?
Precisely, there clearly seems to be
Mm.
something wrong with the world. Something turned the
Yeah.
sun red,
Hmm.
so something's up.
Yeah.
Straff woke in the cold morning and immediately reached for a leaf of black frame. Oh yeah, he's not trying to fight this. He was beginning to see the benefits of his addiction. Oh, he's
Oh,
definitely
sure.
not
That's a
fighting.
great way to. That's not a good way to see your addiction. No. No. No.
It woke him quickly and easily, making his body feel warm despite the early hour. When he might have once taken an hour to get ready, he was up in minutes, dressed and prepared for the day, and glorious that day would be.
Okay. I don't think I don't know if this day is going to be glorious, but you know what? It will be if he dies today. That'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it much longer.
I don't think he'll make it out of this book. He better not. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. Yanarl met him outside his tent, and the two walked through the bustling camp. Straff's boots cracked on half ice, half snow as he made his way to his horse. The fires are out, my lord, Yanarl explained, probably due to the snow. The Kolos likely finished their rampaging and took shelter from the cold. Our scouts are afraid to get too close, but they say the city is like a graveyard, quiet and empty, save for the bodies.
Yes, yes, the fires just came out because of the snow. Yeah. That's
Mhm.
it. There was like a whole blizzard. Great. So this is letting us know they don't know anything that's gone on in the city.
Yep. And perhaps I mean, has set a trap. Maybe they're hiding under the
Mhm.
snow, waiting to reach out with blue hands. Oh, that would be creepy, scary.
Cool.
Very cool. Maybe they killed each other off, Straff said cheerfully, climbing into his saddle, breath puffing in the crisp morning air. Around him, the army was forming up, 50,000 soldiers, eager at the prospect of taking the city. Not only was there plundering to be done, but moving into Luthadel would mean roofs and walls for all of them. Perhaps, Ionarl said, mounting. Wouldn't that be convenient? Straff thought with a smile. All of my enemies dead, the city and its riches mine, and no scar to worry about.
Riches. Okay, so he still what does he still think there's some sort of at him?
I
Okay.
believe so, yeah. He's so giddy.
Yeah, he's having a good time. This is going to be a glorious day. He's really really happy.
Yeah. My lord! Someone cried. Straff looked up. The field between his camp and Luthadel was colored gray and white, the snow stained by ash, and gathering on the other side of that field were Kolos. Oh shit, they're gathering. That means there's organization, maybe.
Uh-oh. I hope Finn had a rest.
Yeah. I'm wondering he's too high to tuck tail and run, right?
Mhm. Yeah, he's thinking, "Okay, fine." They were gonna fight them anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was the plan. It's like, "Oh, maybe they killed themselves. So, okay, killed each other. Okay, that's fine. That's a good thing." But they were gonna attack afterwards
Yep.
anyway.
The question is then, how well are they communicating with Set? Because if the Kolos are organized and fighting Straff, there's
Mhm.
a good chance the Kolos could win, even though they have been depleted. And
Yeah.
Set could tip that balance pretty darn heavily. He wants to side with the victor, but if he doesn't know that the Kolos are organized and like answering to Vin, he
Mhm.
might be hesitant to join in on their side.
Yeah. He wouldn't consider joining Carlos.
Yeah,
Also, we don't know if Vin knows about Set yet.
true.
They don't know anything about Set.
True.
Yeah.
Vin's gonna do what Vin's gonna do. Yeah, so she wouldn't
Mhm.
have sent a messenger. So it's gonna be up to Set's scouts to spy
Mm.
on them, that perhaps a tin eye. But no, but he doesn't have any allomancers. Anyway, a
Does he have
scout will
no
have to have
elementals? Yeah.
spied
Mhm.
what's happening.
Mhm.
Looks like they're alive after all, my lord, Yonarl said. Indeed, Straff said, frowning. There were still a lot of the creatures. They piled out of the northern gate, not attacking immediately, instead gathering in a large body. Scouts say there are fewer of them than there were, Yonarl said after a short time. Perhaps two-thirds their original number, maybe a bit fewer, but they are Kolos. They're abandoning their fortifications, Straff said, smiling, black frame warming his blood, making him feel like he was burning metals. And they're coming to us. Let them charge. This should be over quickly.
Hmm. Will it be over quickly? I suppose. Yeah. If they're charging to us, what do we want them charging on? I guess if they're more organized, their charge is more of a threat than just a rampage. So,
Hmm,
hmm,
I'll take.
let's see.
God, I don't know. Would I rather fight rampaging Kolos or organized Kolos? They both seem like such a juggernaut.
Yeah. Either way. Yeah. And 2/3. Sorry, it seems like this must be some sort of ambush because 2/3. That's basically saying that 2/3 of the Kolos were knocked out in the fighting, and I'm not too sure that really would have happened. I don't know. It's possible, but
I mean, we
it's
know
also
Luthadel
doubtful.
held better than expected.
But that much better?
Yeah.
2/3. Hmm.
Also, I'm really worried about Dachshund right now. I
Yeah, we still don't know.
we don't know. We know that Vin was heading to Keep Venture, where Dachshund
Mhm,
supposedly, bunny ears, died. But if we're just skipping a bunch of time between
mhm,
then and now, then we're not going to see the body confirmed,
mhm.
and it would
Well, we might get a
it would feel weird
mhm,
for me for us to switch over to a Vin POV where she's just up and talking to Dachshund after the cliffhanger of his
mhm,
last POV.
okay.
So I am a bit
Yeah,
worried now.
okay, but, yeah, and it seems more likely we could get, like, a flashback of her discovering Dachshund's body.
Yeah,
Like, oh, her thinking about the time that she did.
but again, I feel like this book needs that moment of having one of the crew be like, "We thought you were dead. We're so glad you're not," actually. That moment. And it really, really felt like that POV was left off specifically for that payoff.
Well, we will find out, but I don't know if we'll find out in this chapter, though.
I agree. Yes, my lord, Yanarl said, sounding a little less certain. He frowned, then pointed again toward the city gate. My lord? What now? Soldiers, my lord, Yanarl said. Human ones. Looks to be several thousands of them. Straff frowned. They should all be dead.
I love that. I love that he gets that shock. It's a glorious day, hey, Straff? Mhm.
Yeah, they waited too long. If they had gone in a
Mhm.
couple hours earlier before Vin arrived,
Mhm.
hubris. Because seriously, what could Vin have done against Straff having already conquered the city? If Straff had already done that,
Yeah.
Vin has to play by Ellen's political rules. She can't just go in and kill him because he's already done that. Well, hmm.
I think she could go in and kill him because he's still the enemy,
But the city,
and he's Straff.
yeah,
He's not he's not, what's the name? The other king with a P?
Penrod,
Yeah, he's not Penrod.
Penrod, what?
So it's yeah, it's a different
Hmm. The Kolos charged. Straff's horse shuffled slightly as the blue monsters ran across the gray field, the human troops falling into more organized ranks behind them. Oh shit! Working together?
Well, they had that, that is where, what Club said, he was like, "Often when we fought with Kolos, they were on our side."
So cool. Archers! Yanarl shouted. Prepare first volley! Perhaps I shouldn't be at the front, Straff thought suddenly. Oh, brave.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Look, I vaguely remember reading an observation about Rome and its transition from the very earliest of mythologies in which they championed champions, combat champions,
Mhm,
the Horatii and Manlius Torquatus. There are lots of stories of a singular hero holding a bridge in a duel against uh, an opponent, things like that. And then at some point, they transitioned away from that into commanders and lieutenants taking a more backseat. Not backseat, that's not quite the right thing, but hanging out in the back from behind and commanding.
mhm.
So I call Straff a coward. That's mainly because he's a villain here and I don't like him. But it's not so unusual, I think, for commanders to do that.
Yeah, don't put the commander in front.
Yeah. He turned his horse, then noticed something. An arrow suddenly shot from the midst of the charging Kolos. But Kolos didn't use bows. Besides, the monsters were still far away, and that object was far too big to be an arrow anyway. A rock, perhaps? It seemed larger than. Okay, what do you think it is? Quickly.
Vin.
I think it's.
It's Vin.
I mean, yes, I think it's definitely Vin, but I think it's maybe like a large iron spike sent by Vin? Or do you think it's literal
Okay.
Vin?
It could be literal Vin.
Ooh. It began to fall down towards Straff's army. Straff stared into the sky, riveted by the strange object. Wow, it may actually be Vin Vin. It grew more distinct as it fell. It wasn't an arrow, nor was it a rock. It was a person with a flapping mist cloak. Oh shit, it is her.
That's freaking cool.
No! Straff yelled. She's supposed to be gone!
Yeah, she's supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's pretty epic. She's charging ahead of an army of Kolos.
Yeah, it's really cool. And here she is, we get a Vin.
Vin screamed from the sky in her Duralumin-fueled steel jump, massive Kolos sword light in her hands. Okay, so we're not getting her checking out Keep Venture.
Yeah, we're not. We're getting the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the odds Marsh came and collected Dachshund?
I don't know. I think they're pretty low.
Hmm.
I would be happy, but I don't know. Yeah, Deus Ex Marsh. We don't know what how we're gonna use Marsh here.
Yeah. She hit Straff directly in the head with the sword, then continued on downward, slamming into the ground, tossing up snow and frozen dirt with the power of her impact. Is Straff dead?
He's obliterated. That man is powder.
Wow.
Yeah, he's done. He's mush. He's jam. Yeah.
There's no surviving that, I don't think.
Well, yeah, look at how the horse is doing.
The horse fell into two pieces, front and back. What remained of the former, there it is, what remained of the former king slid to the ground with the equine corpse. She looked at the remnants, smiled grimly, and bade Straff farewell. Well, at least he died high.
Yeah, there we go. We didn't get to see his decline into, like when he runs out of the leaves and things like that. Because I don't know where he's going to get that sort of thing. And no, it's fine. He's done.
Yeah.
He's gone. We got his death now. I'm very happy about it.
Yeah. She needs to turn to Yanarl now and be like, do you surrender?
Mhm.
There doesn't need to be a battle now.
Yeah.
Yanarl is scared of the
I mean,
Kolos.
if Elend had made it there, then maybe they'll be asking this.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they're probably going to fight. I don't know. Let's see. Or himself can surrender, and let's see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Speaking of Elend, by the way, it was reminded to me recently that Vin killed Shanna L'Ariel, who was Elend's
Mm,
fiance, and she
yeah.
killed his brother, and now she's killed his father.
Yeah, it's cool. They were all assholes, so it's fine.
Sure. Careful, Elend. Elend had, after all, warned him what would happen if he attacked the city. Straff's generals and attendants stood around her in a stunned circle. Behind her, the Kolos army barreled forward, confusion in Straff's ranks making the archer volleys ragged and less effective. Vin kept a tight hold on her sword, then pushed outward with a Duralumin-enhanced steel push. Riders were thrown, their beasts tripped by their shoes, and soldiers sprayed backward from her in a circle of several dozen yards. Men screamed.
She's been doing a lot of. She's Duralumin. She got her metal, so she has definitely been to keep venture.
Yup. Yep. She downed another vial, restoring both steel and pewter. Then she jumped up, seeking out generals and other officers to attack. No, you ask one to surrender. Vin.
Nah, it's cool. No, they were warned. Okay, they're not here to discuss. Just because Straff's dead doesn't mean that his generals are suddenly trustworthy.
Yeah.
If they all lay down and surrendered, cool. But no, I'm cool with her. This is a battle, boys. They were gonna come in and take the city.
True. As she moved, her Kolos troops struck the front ranks of Straff's army and the real carnage began.
Yeah, that's what you wanted, boys. That's what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You were gonna do that. You were gonna go into the city and supposedly start your carnage there. So enjoy.
Yes. What are they doing? Set asked hurriedly, throwing on his cloak as he was placed and tied into his saddle. Attacking, apparently, said Bauman, one of his aides. Look, they're attacking with the Kolos. Set frowned, doing up his cloak clasp. A treaty? With the Kolos? Bauman asked. Set shrugged. Who's going to win? No way to tell, my lord, the man said. Kolos are...
What is this?
Alrion demanded, riding up the snowy incline, accompanied by a couple of abashed guards. Set had, of course, ordered them to keep her in the camp, but he had also, of course, expected that she'd get past them eventually.
It's great that that's the thing we had before. He knows that she's just a force to be reckoned with. He's gonna try his best, but she's probably gonna overcome it.
Yeah. At least I can count on her to be slowed down by getting ready in the morning. That's funny. Yeah, he thought with amusement. She wore one of her dresses, immaculately arranged, her hair done. If a building were burning down, Alrion would still stop to do her makeup before escaping. Looks like the battle has begun, Set said, nodding toward the fighting.
Outside the city?
Alrion asked, riding up next to him. Then she brightened.
They're attacking Strap's position.
Yes. And that leaves the city.
We have to help them, father.
Set rolled his eyes. Now, so she's saying we have to help the Kolos?
Yeah, because they're attacking Strap.
Yes.
She wants Strap to go down, but she's. Oh wait, no, she's saying we have to help them.
Right.
So we have to help Straff, I
Okay.
suppose, is what she's gonna say. Yeah,
No, no, no,
they
no.
have to help the
I
humans.
think they've realized that Luthadel is fighting with the Kolos. So she's saying we have to help
Oh
Luthadel.
yes, oh true. Yeah, yeah. And he's like, "That leaves the city." So Set is
He
like, "Yeah,
wants to
let's go
take the
and the
city.
city's ungone." Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking Set.
Set rolled his eyes. You know, we're going to do nothing of the sort. We'll see who wins. If they're weak enough, which I hope they will be, we'll attack them. I didn't bring all of my forces back with me, but maybe. He trailed off as he noticed the look in Alrion's eyes. He opened his mouth to speak, but before he could do so, she kicked her horse into motion. Her guards cursed, dashing forward. Too late to try to grab her reins. Set sat, stunned. This was a little insane, even for her. She wouldn't dare. Oh shit,
Oh, she would.
so she's running into the battle, which means the soldiers will have to follow to save her and then get involved, yeah?
Mhm. Yeah. She's making it okay, are you gonna let me die, Dad? Is this what's gonna happen? Cool.
Alrion's a badass.
Mhm.
She galloped down the hill toward the battle. Then she paused as he had expected. She turned, looking back at him.
"If you wanna protect me, father, you better charge."
With that, she turned and started galloping her horse again, its hoofbeats tossing out puffs of snow. Well done, by the way, Kitty.
Thanks.
Set didn't move. My lord!
Wow.
What?
What? Wow, Set didn't move. He's considering. That's annoying.
I
That's
don't
like you have to even think.
I don't think he's considering. I think he's a little bit in shock.
Okay, that's okay.
My lord, Bauman said, those forces look almost evenly matched. 50,000 men against a force of some 12,000 Kolos and about 5,000 men. If we were to add our strength to either side. Damn that fool go, he thought, watching Alrion gallop away. My lord? Bauman asked. Why did I come to Luthadel in the first place? Was it because I really thought I could take the city without Alamancers, with my homeland in revolt? Or was it because I was looking for something? A confirmation of the stories, a power like I saw on that night when the air almost killed me. How exactly did they get the Kolos to fight alongside them anyway? Nice
That was
little.
all him thinking.
Yes, that was all
Yeah.
I'm thinking. It was a nice little. Not apotheosis, but he's getting there.
Mhm. Yeah,
Get!
it's like,
Go
what
on.
is going on? Oh, sorry. No,
No.
go. I was just making confirmation noises.
Gather our forces! We're marching to the defense of Luthadel, and somebody send riders after that fool daughter of mine!
Good, Set. Glad.
Also badass, and he made the right
Mhm.
decision. Yay!
Yes.
Sazed rode quietly, his horse moving slowly in the snow. Ahead of him, the battle raged, but he was far enough behind it to be out of danger. He'd left the city where Luthadel's surviving women and elderly watched from the walls. Vin had saved them from the Kolos. The real miracle would be to see if she could save them from the other two armies.
Listen, saving them from the Kolos was quite a miracle. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We they were really miraculous, like Deus Ex Machina miraculous. So, okay, but I guess, yeah, we need another miracle now, so why not?
Yep. Hopefully she's not too exhausted to realize that
Mm,
Set's armies are on her side.
yeah.
Sazed didn't ride into the fight. His metal mines were mostly empty, and his body was nearly as tired as his mind. He simply brought his horse to a halt, its breath puffing in the cold as he sat alone on the snowy plain. He didn't know how to deal with Tindwell's death. He felt hollow. He wished that he could simply stop feeling. He wished that he could go back and defend her gate instead of his own. Why hadn't he gone in search of her when he'd heard of the northern gate's fall? She'd still been alive then. He might have been able to protect her. Why did he even care anymore? Why bother? Oof.
Oof, proper wretched Sazed. He's in despair. We're expecting this. We can't expect him to just shrug it off in a day or a couple hours.
Yeah. And his immediate fighting is done, so he doesn't need that adrenaline pumping
Mhm.
right now. So he can really sit in it and really like
Mm,
watch everything from behind himself, if that makes sense.
yeah.
But the ones who had faith were right, he thought. Wynne did come back to defend the city. I lost hope, but they never did. He started his horse forward again. The sounds of battle echoed in the distance. He tried to focus on anything but Tindwell, but his thoughts kept returning to see things he had studied with her. The facts and stories became more precious, for they were a link to her, a painful link, but one he couldn't bear to discard. So he's reminiscing. That's good.
Mhm. Everything reminds me of her kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a whole battle and he's like, "Tyndall."
The hero of ages was not meant to simply be a warrior, he thought, still riding slowly toward the battlefield. He was a person who united others, who brought them together, a leader.
Is he gonna convince himself that Elend is the hero of ages?
Or, I'm,
'Cause listen, Elend also marries the daughter of a king, if we're thinking about Kelsier.
yeah? Hmm.
Mhm.
He knew that Vin thought she was the hero, but Tindwell was right. It was too much of a coincidence. Okay, so he's starting to think like Quan,
Mhm.
and he wasn't even certain what he believed anymore, if anything. The hero of ages was removed from the Terrace people, he thought, watching the Kolos attack. He was not royalty himself, but came to it eventually. Sazed pulled his horse up, pausing in the center of the open, empty field. Arrows stuck from the snow around him, and the ground was thoroughly trampled. In the distance, he heard a drum. He turned, watching as an army of men marched over a rise to the west. They flew Set's banner. Yeah, he might be coming to think it's either Elend or maybe no one. Maybe he's going to go down a nihilistic route and
Mm,
uh, think there's no such thing.
yeah. I don't think do you think he could come to the conclusion, "It's me"? I don't think he's there yet.
I was going to ask you that, and no, I don't think
Mm.
so.
Yeah, I think he's more likely to think of it as Ellen because I just don't think he's in the right space to be thinking of himself as any kind of hero.
Yeah. And I feel like this chapter's building to the aha moment of who it must be,
Mm, mhm.
but that also doesn't jive with the fact that I think it's Sazed, and I don't think Sazed is going to think it's Sazed.
Yeah.
He commanded the forces of the world. Kings rode to his aid. While Set's riding to the aid now.
Mhm.
Set's forces joined the battle against Straff. There was a crash of metal against metal, bodies grunting as a new front came under attack. Sazed sat on the field between the city and the armies. Vin's forces were still outnumbered, but as Sazed watched, Straff's army began to pull back. It broke into fragments, its members fighting without direction. Their movements bespoke terror. She's killing their generals, he thought.
Yes.
Yes,
That's what she was doing. Yes. But you're like, "No, she should have gotten them to surrender." Mm.
I mean, give them an option, but tactically, it's not a
The
bad move if you can do
mm.
it.
Yeah,
Cut
without
off
the
the head.
generals though, the soldiers can individually surrender and that'll be fine.
Yeah. Set was a clever man. He himself rode to battle, but he stayed near the back of his ranks. Well, he's way better than Straff is, then.
Well, Straff was cocky. Straff didn't even know we were going to battle,
Yeah.
really. He was just like, "We're gonna go in and have a victory lap around the city."
Yep. But he stayed near the back of his ranks, his infirmities requiring him to remain tied into his saddle and making it difficult for him to fight. Still, by joining the battle, he ensured that Vin would not turn her Kolos on him. Very good.
Mhm.
For there was really no doubt in Sazed's mind who would win this conflict. Indeed, before an hour had passed, Straff's troops began to surrender in large groups. The sounds of
There you
battle
go.
died down, and Sazed kicked his horse forward. Very good. So it's won. We're good. We're happy. Yay. Holy first witness, he thought. I don't know that I believe that, but either way I should be there for what happens next. Convenient.
Yeah. Yeah, he can hardly call himself the holy first witness, so we're definitely not getting him. I am the hero of ages. No,
Yeah.
we're not getting that.
The Kolos stopped fighting, standing silently. They departed for Sazed as he rode through their ranks. Eventually he found Vin standing, bloodied, her massive Kolos sword held on one shoulder. Some Kolos pulled a man forward, a lord in rich clothing and a silvery breastplate. They dropped him before Vin. From behind, Penrod approached with an honor guard led by a Kolos. Nobody spoke. Okay, so is she gonna, dethrone Penrod right now?
I don't know. Where is Elend?
He's either dead from the mist creature or he's on his way back. Talk about an off-screen death.
Yeah, we got Tyndall off screen, you don't know.
Nobody spoke. Then the Kolos parted again, and this time a suspicious Set rode forward, surrounded by a large group of soldiers and led by a single Kolos. Set eyed Vin, then scratched his chin. Not much of a battle, he said.
Straff's soldiers were afraid. They're cold and they have no desire to fight Kolos.
And their leaders?
I killed them. Sorry, I killed them. She killed them. Sorry. I killed them. Except this one. Your name?
Lord Yanar, said Straff's man. His leg appeared broken, and Kolos held him by either arm, supporting him.
There you go. He's still alive. Are we happy about this?
I think he's amenable to being talked into leaving.
Yeah. Yeah, he was going to be killed by Straff, which means he was a problem. So, yeah, him being a problem to Straff means he could be an asset to Vin. But let's see.
Yeah.
Straff is dead. You control this army now.
The nobleman bowed his head. No, I don't. You do. Vin nodded.
That was a good move. That was a good move for him. Like,
Smart.
nah, I'm not stupid here.
This is basically a god. Take my army.
He's like, I just saw you smash the other guy. So, yeah, I'm good. On your knees.
She said. The Kolos dropped Yanarl. He grunted in pain, but then bowed forward. I swear my army to you, he whispered.
No, not to me. To the rightful heir of House Venture. He is your lord now.
Oh shit, so Elend. So suddenly Elend has an army and can
Yeah.
dethrone Penrod.
I don't know what's Penrod's role right now. But either way, that army belongs to a venture. So not to Penrod. Sorry, love.
Yeah. Yanarl nodded slowly. Very well, he said. Whatever you wish. I swear loyalty to Straff's son, Elend Venture. The separate groups stood in the cold. Sazed turned as Vin did, looking at Penrod. Vin pointed at the ground. Oh, very good.
Yes,
Ooh,
on your knees. On your knees, Penrod.
so good. Penrod quietly dismounted, then bowed himself to the ground. I swear as well. I give my loyalty to Elend Venture. Vin turned to Lord Set. You expect this of me? The bearded man said, amused.
Yes.
Vin said quietly. And if I refuse? Set asked.
Then I'll kill you. You brought armies to attack my city. You threatened my people. I won't slaughter your soldiers to make them pay for what you did, but I will kill you, Set.
I admire the strength of Vin, but he did just come in to help.
Yeah, but she knows that he also just came in to help because of the odds,
Yeah.
essentially. She knows that he needs to be loyal. Sorry, it's not, oh well, we're friends now. It's like, no, you actually need to swear fealty to
Yeah.
Elend.
And if you're ever going to do it, now's the time.
Yeah, you're still an enemy. Okay? We know you. We know you now. We know that you're not just nice.
Yeah.
That you don't just pick, the side that she knows he picks the side that wins. So, she might have thought he just joined because he thought she was gonna win.
Yeah. Silence. Sazed turned, looking back at the immobile lines of Kolos standing in the bloodied snow. That is a threat, you know. Your own Elend would never stand for such a thing.
He's not here.
And what do you think he'd say? He'd tell me not to give in to such a demand. The honorable Elend Venture would never give in simply because someone threatened his life.
Sure, that is a good point, but this is why what she says here is a slap in the face. You're not the man that Elend is, and you know it.
Set hesitated, then smiled. No. No, I'm not. He turned to his aides. Help me down. Oh shit.
Good, Set. Yeah, that's what you need.
Vin watched quietly as the guards undid Set's legs, then lowered him to the snowy ground. He bowed. Very well, then. I swear myself to Elend Venture. He's welcome to my kingdom, assuming he can take it back from that damn obligator who now controls it. Vin nodded, turning to Sazed. Before she says her line, though, do you think Elend would even bother doing that?
At some point, maybe, but right now it's all about Luthadel. I wouldn't stretch myself so far to go to that kingdom.
Yeah.
That no. Yeah,
So,
we don't have resources for that.
yeah, and Elend doesn't seem like the kind who would up and invade a place.
Mhm.
Set is homeless. He certainly can't go home. So he exists now in this weird space where I I'm sure he would want to lobby for Elend to help him retake his home, especially
Mhm.
considering what Set can bring to Elend's kingdom in terms of resources and aid and help. I mean,
Yeah, and he can incentivize Elend to do this and say, "Listen, there are Scar people that are under bad influence in my previous kingdom now. So
yeah,
don't you want to save them?" Yeah.
yeah. So that leaves us in a really interesting political space that I'm hoping we'll get to see in some way.
Now I don't know. Well, yeah, we got some space.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not like in the immediate, but at some point I would like
Mhm,
to know how that progresses.
mhm.
Vin nodded, turning to Sazed.
I need your help, Sazed.
Whatever you command, mistress, Sazed said quietly. Vin eyed him.
Please don't call me that.
As you wish, Sazed said.
You're the only one here I trust, Sazed.
Vin said, ignoring the three kneeling men.
That's pretty funny. Sorry. Just these guys. She's like, I'm gonna have a conversation with my friend here. With Ham wounded and Breeze.
I will do my best, Sazed said, bowing his head. What is it you want me to do?
Secure Luthadel. Make certain the people are sheltered and send for supplies from Strath's storehouses. Get these armies situated so they won't kill each other, then send a squad to fetch Elend. He'll be coming south on the Canal Highway.
Did you miss the storehouses and Set's cannery, or is that not in your edition?
It's not in my edition, it's just the storehouses.
Interesting. Neat. I like
I
the
mean, I
addition of
guess
the cannery.
yeah, the cannery, it's like, it enhances the idea that there are more supplies.
Yeah, and it feels like a weird thing for me to sort of latch onto for a source of enjoyment, but when do we ever get canneries in fantasy? I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So why drop it? It's
Mhm.
such a nice, unique little, oh, I like that kind of a thing. Sazed nodded and Vin turned to the three kneeling kings.
Sazed is my second. You will obey him as you would Elend or myself.
They each nodded in turn. Ah, commands kings.
Mm. But she's commanding kings on Elend's behalf, so we could play with that.
Yes.
And yes, I know that he is commanding kings. What's her name? Sazed is commanding kings. I suppose he's coming into royalty here
Yeah.
by being the second. He wasn't royalty and now he's coming into royalty. Okay.
Yeah. But where will you be? Penrod asked, looking up. Vin sighed, suddenly looking terribly weak.
Sleeping.
She said, and dropped her sword. Then she pushed against it, shooting backward into the sky toward Luthadel. I was fully expecting her to say something like looking for the Well of Ascension, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I thought that that's what she was thinking of, but I do need her to sleep. I really do.
She needs it.
It's yeah, we can't have her taking the power from the Well of Ascension half asleep. So, yeah, I'm good with her sleeping.
Yep. And no mention of Doxin yet.
Yeah. No, nothing.
He left ruin in his wake, but it was forgotten, Sazed thought, turning to watch her fly. He created kingdoms and then destroyed them as he made the world anew. He had the wrong gender all along. So,
Mhm.
he officially thinks, the end of part 5, by the way, he
Yeah.
officially thinks it's Vin, and, it's not. It is not. There's no way.
The reason that we say it's not is because that would be too cheesy. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
'Cause she still fits these things, and I would like to look as well, the way that you went through it for Sazed, so it also fits for Elend. Elend can also trade with the philosophers
Yeah.
because he is a philosopher, he thinks about those things. He wasn't exactly royalty because he now becomes royalty with his dad dead, if you know what I'm saying. He comes into king he wasn't a king, he was a noble, but he wasn't a king.
Hmm.
Then he became into the royalty. So it all you could just play around with it as much as you want
Yeah.
until they confirm it. So it is unconfirmed until it's confirmed for me.
Fair.
Are you absolutely convinced it's not Finn? There's no way.
I am so convinced it's not Vin.
I'm not. I think it's a possibility of the three of them still now. Like I was more convinced that it's not Vin, but now I'm like, what if it is? What if it is? We can have it as her. And it makes sense for the characters in the book to think it's Vin
Oh, that
because they won't they,
100%.
they aren't going, "Oh, well, Vin is the main character in our book, so he can't." Like they're not doing that. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Is like, okay, it makes sense for the characters to be doing this. So
Yeah.
I am agnostic as to who will be Hero of Ages.
Cool.
I await the answer. I don't know if I suppose we get it in part 6, maybe. Words in Steel.
I mean, I presume we're not going to get who it is until the next book.
Ah.
I mean, that was my
Yeah, we're just gonna.
guess.
I guess yeah, we're just gonna go with the assumption that it's Vin. So this is gonna end with the assumption that it's Vin,
W-
and then we get the real answer if it's not Vin next book.
What happens if they find the Well of Ascension at the end of this book and Vin tries to do the Hero of Ages thing, but can't because she's not? So then the next book is all of them scrambling to find who the Hero of Ages is.
And then it saws it the whole time.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Good chapter.
Good chapter. Still don't know about Doxson.
Yeah, still don't know about Doxin. Getting a
Mm,
bit nervous.
mhm.
Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to that darn Kita if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel. And we'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.